This is part 2, episode 235. Lu Tuo, Wang Shi, and Xian Kuan walked over together. Even 10 Crown King, Princess Yao Yu, and the others moved, pressing forward. They all had their suspicions, wishing to verify who exactly Shahao was. How could those who cultivated 3 strands of immortal energy be nameless? They would definitely leave behind their unique reputation in the 9 heavens 10 earths. They would find out with just a simple test. Unless he came from Sacred Academy, Immortal Academy, those old freaks' descendant, or their disciple, secluded from the rest of the world, only then could they maintain their secrecy, not being known to the public. Sure. Who wants to fight against me? Or are you all going to come up together? Shahao looked at everyone, not minding this situation, or showing any fear. Using his true self to fight against everyone as matters stood wasn't a big deal. Mo Dao stood at his side, also facing these people, not backing up. On the stone furnace, the atmosphere immediately became extremely tense. The young supreme beings were going to exchange blows. This was definitely an extremely serious matter. The others all backed up, holding their breaths, not daring to join in. Even though there was no one guarding the furnace opening now, there was still no one who dared rush in. They all knew that before these young supreme beings determined victory and defeat, no one could try to do anything. Otherwise, they would definitely suffer the joint attacks of experts who cultivated 3 strands of immortal energy. Who could resist this type of power? They would be beaten up immediately. He, Dao Brothers style really is something, still so cheerful when facing the joint attacks of supreme beings, truly admirable. I, Lu Tuo, wish to have a try. Lu Tuo said. Everyone was shocked. This was one of Heavenly Deity Institution's most powerful experts. Was he going to make his move? Lu Tuo wasn't that tall and big. Where he stood, chaotic energy covered his entire body, green hair scattered down. His voice sounded like a golden bell, shaking up many people until they couldn't stand stably, about to fall onto the ground. Just these words alone were like lightning, making everyone's blood and chi surge, impossible to contend against. Pass this trial first. Mo Dao stood out, blocking in front of Shahao. Everyone frowned. Regardless, these were all young supreme beings who cultivated 3 strands of immortal energy. Even though he was a servant, no one dared to look down on his strength. In reality, as for how strong Mo Dao really was, no one had truly witnessed it. It was because when he faced Shahao, he didn't display 3 strands of immortal energy. Brother, are you not willing to fight against me? Lu Tuo looked towards Shahao, not replying to Mo Dao. He truly wished to fight against Shahao, personally experience his strength. The corners of Shahao's lips tilted up slightly, revealing a smile. He didn't say anything. Mo Dao already walked forward, arriving at the center of this place. With a chiong sound, a golden war spear appeared in his left hand, in his right a dragon snake-shaped blade. Just how many weapons did he have that were great treasures? Everyone became silent. They all saw Mo Dao's resolution. 3 strands of immortal energy surged, 3 great Dao flowers emerged above his head, his heavenly deity exceptional fighting strength fully displayed. Even Shahao's eyes were deep, within his eyes a mysterious brilliance. In his eyes, Mo Dao was difficult to deal with, at the peak of the heavenly deity level with 3 great Dao flowers, possessing unmatched power. He already knew that Mo Dao still had an older sister, who was rumored to be even more frightening than Mo Dao, someone who even undying beings and foreign emperor clans felt admiration towards. Truly hard to say how strong she was. Lu Tuo nodded and then said, fine, since it is like this, then I will first have a taste of the other world's methods, see just what areas of differences there are. This can also be considered a type of preparation, against the impending great chaos. The void erupted. The instant Lu Tuo nodded, he already moved, a large tree bathed in chaotic energy suspended above his head, the leaves and branches luxuriant. This was produced by immortal energy, and right now, it quickly rushed over murderously. Before it, space itself was like a broken painting, directly torn open. He immediately clashed with Mo Dao, erupting with astonishing immortal light. This was a confrontation at the peak, 6 waves of immortal energy colliding. Formidable, Lu Tuo is astonishing after all, immortal energy able to produce 3 great Dao flowers, even condensing into a tree, truly astonishing. Everyone sighed in admiration. Even Yao Yu, Xian Kuan, and the others' expressions changed. The two fought intensely, like a struggle between true dragons, a battle between flame phoenixes, exceptionally intense. In that instant, primal chaos erupted, filling the entrance of the stone furnace. Their methods were shocking, making all of the cultivators shudder inwardly. It was as if two primordial supreme gods were fighting during the opening of the world, about to destroy earth, fire, wind, and water. On the mountain, there wasn't just one young supreme being. Right now, forget about Wang Shi, Xian Kuan, and the others, even 10 Crown King and Princess Yao Yu looked over, their eyes full of expressions of shock. A wave of intimidating pressure filled this place. I wish to exchange pointers with you, Xian Kuan said. Shahao looked at him, and then looked at the other side. He actually had exchanged blows with these individuals on the immortal battlefield before, just that he had a different face on back then. Dao brother, how about I give it a try? Wang Shi said, her clothes fluttering about, white shoes, white socks, incredibly pure and aloof. Her pitch-black, beautiful hair flew about in the wind, eyes carrying an enchanting radiance. Everyone revealed a strange expression. They all knew what was going on. After they came back from immortal battlefield, the Wang family's people were too arrogant, not acting all that friendly towards Shahao. All because they forcefully placed their clan's diamond band on his head. A few people believed that he was already taken as a servant, in the end provoking his powerful backlash. It could be said that in that confrontation, the Wang family lost all face, even Wang Shi herself had some rumors about her going about. Right now, she wanted to take action against this youth, drawing eyes. Everyone couldn't help but think different thoughts. Who exactly are you? Wang Shi's red lips were bright, her large intelligent eyes blinked. She looked at the youth in front of her, expressing a bit of dissatisfaction. Didn't you view me as a Dao friend? Of course, your family's people didn't think that way. Shahao responded. I am asking you where you came from. Who exactly are you? Wang Shi moved her black hair from her sparkling white forehead, her eyes clear as she looked at him. Is this important? Shahao asked. Of course. You've made my clansmen look quite bad. Wang Shi said. Why aren't you saying that they made me look bad first? Since you made this choice, then I don't have anything else to say. Come and fight then, everything will be clear then. Shahao calmly replied. Is that so? You are quite confident. I want to see just where your arrogance comes from. Wang Shi said. She felt a different type of emotion inside, not quite the same as her usual quiet and indifferent nature. I believe I've never offended you. When you were seriously injured in immortal battlefield, I even protected you. Are we going to decide life and death here and now? Shahao coldly said. You were harboring secret motives, hiding by my side, and later on humiliated my name. Wang Shi coldly said, pressing forward, her expression a bit complex. When Shahao heard this, he immediately laughed. Isn't it nothing more than cultivating together? What is the big deal? You already cleared things up, what is there to still be worried over? You, come over and fight. Wang Shi was humiliated and angry. She stepped out. Silver lotuses descended from the skies one after another, sweet fragrance wafting out, as she rushed murderously at Shahao. She knew that the clan had arranged an engagement for her, and soon after, she would be married to that exceptional heavenly talent in Sacred Academy. She didn't want there to be any dark rumors at this time. Be careful not to be captured by me, or else it'll be much more troublesome. Shahao said. Wang Shi raised her hands, flower petals filling the skies, each one sparkling and swirling with chaotic energy, more powerful than precious artifacts, as they sliced towards Shahao. Every single lotus flower was like a sharp blade, blasting the skies full of holes. Shahao reached out a finger, and then green blades flew out. Those were willow leaves, green and lush, as if they were carved from jade. They pierced through the void, facing those flower petals. Fresh flowers need green leaves, one, to accompany them. Shahao roared with laughter, teasing her. The green leaves and silver flowers smashed into each other, producing a great quaking here. The entire furnace was shaking about, blasting this place until the furnace released waves of auspicious energy and immortal energy. A black-colored immortal sword appeared in Wang Shi's hands, sparkling and translucent. It was originally a pitch-black sword, yet soon after, it released bright and multicolored radiance, becoming extremely gorgeous. Everyone sucked in a cold breath of air. This was definitely a formidable secret treasure. Just the appearance alone made everyone's bodies and minds tremble. There was always a rumor that the Wang family had always been collecting immortal gold, wishing to create an unmatched magical artifact. As a long-life family, after endless time passed, they already gathered enough with even a bit of surplus. These items were granted to the clan's most important people. It was easy to see that Wang Shi was one of those people. This sword of hers contained some immortal gold, or else how could it be so magical? Darkness, immortal gold. The corners of Shahao's lips tilted upwards, immediately seeing that it was unordinary. Only, he didn't mind too much. If he had to, he would directly produce the everlasting immortal sword to destroy the other party's sword, absorb its essence. Shahao took the initiative. When he raised his hand, a large earthen hand appeared in the void. This was the embodiment of a divine ability, the condensation of a magical projection. He didn't feel any misgivings. The great hand covered the heavenly dome, grabbing towards Wang Shi, wishing to trap her wonderful body inside. Wang Shi released a light shout. Her spotlessly white jade-like arms' delicate hands held the sword, and when brandished, large amounts of hazy splendor was released. The black sword body in her hands hacked apart the void, hacking towards that large hand. The large earthen hand didn't move out of the way, still descending, but there were new changes. Lightning rumbled about, and then it was as if long rivers roiled, crashing downwards. It was originally formed from light and mists, but now, it was formed from interweaving lightning, only, this large hand didn't fear the sword core formed from immortal gold. Even if it was hacked apart, it still released radiance. Lightning crashed down, the noise deafening, making the entire stone furnace start to violently shake. Wang Shi's expression changed. She displayed precious techniques, making her body merge with the void, doing everything she could to prevent the lightning from touching her. The stellar streams were brilliant. Stars appeared in the lightning one after another, these stars spheres of lightning. They gathered into a lightning stellar stream, KACHA sounds crackling about, shocking to the extreme. In the distance, everyone was horrified. That hand was too large, covering the heavenly dome. Meanwhile, the palm and fingers actually had cosmos stellar streams swirling about, covering the sky as they poured down. This, even Princess Yao Yu was shocked. To operate lightning to this level, raising it to the limit of precious techniques, it really was world-shaking, making one's heart tremble. Sky-shattering style. Wang Shi shouted. She was originally quiet and aloof, but now, she was surging with heroic spirit. She brandished the darkness immortal gold sword in her hands, displaying an ancient sword style, facing the stellar streams and lightning in the sky. The heavens shattered, lightning radiance fired out in thousands and tens of thousands of streaks, drowning out this place. That large hand was hacked apart. However, the countless spheres of lightning were incomparably enormous, like volcanoes that dropped from the sky, continuously erupting. That white-clothed woman in the middle of it all was tangled within electricity, blasted by the lightning. However, her sword core possessed a strange type of magic power, continuously eliminating the surrounding lightning radiance. Suddenly, the darkness immortal gold sword shook violently, a strange electrical arc still moving into Wang Shi's body through the sword. The metal sword core conducted electricity to begin with, so even if she had great magical force, the moment would still come when she was careless. As a result, Shahao deliberately released a bit of terrifying electrical radiance. With a peng sound, Wang Shi withdrew, her body staggering. Fortunately, her injuries weren't too serious, not coughing out blood and others. Chaos calming art. Wang Shi's eyes carried anger, becoming completely different from before, now like a queen. These changes left everyone shocked, as if one went from the pure and aloof to heroic and domineering, then to the great power of a king. The changes were too great. The three words chaos calming art crashed down on everyone's minds like muffled thunder, making some of their expressions change, mouths crying out involuntarily. Wang Shi even cultivated the clan protecting precious technique. This type of divine ability was different from normal divine abilities. It wasn't something you could just immediately cultivate. The harsh requirements made it so that many generations of descendants couldn't cultivate it, unable to display it. This was especially true for more recent times. One could completely forget about the chance to even cultivate it. It was rumored that 13 generations of the Wang family failed, not a single one succeeding, so one could see how difficult it was. This wasn't 13 people, but 13 generations. Chaos calming art reappeared in this world. That black sword moved, firing sky-reaching sword radiance. Meanwhile, that sword radiance began to form a humanoid figure, quelling all disorder under the sky. That type of scene was too frightening. Vicious beasts in all directions roared, their cries tearing through the great wastelands. Divine birds spread their wings, splitting the heavenly dome. Meanwhile, a humanoid figure calmed the heavens above and earth below with a single sword, cutting down the vicious beasts and erasing the divine birds, the power unstoppable, beyond compare. In reality, the power of this divine art wasn't directed at itself. Regardless of whether it was that humanoid figure, or the divine birds and vicious beasts, the power they erupted with was all aimed at Shahao. Heaven and earth erupted with power. Shahao displayed the Kuan Peng true meanings, one arm black, one gold, his left hand golden up to his palms and fingers, right hand pitch black like ink. The Kuan Peng true meaning contained the yin-yang transformation Tao, the world's most simple and unadorned natural law. All things were interconnected, carrying yin and yang, all spirits multiplying and born from yin and yang. Right now, when Shahao's black right fist brandished about, a black ocean wave struck the skies, great yin energies pervading the air. A Kuan fish that was who knew how many li long appeared, incomparably enormous as it moved through the vast sea. When his golden left fist brandished about, the massive Kuan fish rose from the sea, turning into a golden peng, releasing great yang energy. From Kuan to peng, this was the transformation of yin and yang, containing the world's most fundamental powerful, naturally terrifying beyond belief. Shahao's hands formed an imprint, the black and golden beams of light overflowing as they were released. Yin and yang rotated, immediately crushing heaven and earth, making the skies collapse. This wave of power was too strong, making Wang Shi move backwards. Even though she used the chaos calming art, she still couldn't seize the advantage. If it was in the past, when the chaos calming art appeared, all enemies would be suppressed, not much power able to stop it. Kuan Peng technique. Everyone was shocked. They never expected to see this type of matchless precious technique here, moreover evolved to such an extreme state, raised to the peak. Shahao brandished his fist, colliding with the darkness immortal gold sword. Metallic sounds rang out. Wang Shi was shocked, the immortal gold sword core actually didn't injure Shahao's fist. His arms carried yin and yang transformations, continuously changing, altering from nothing to real, real to nothing, weapons unable to injure him. Chaos calming art. Wang Shi released a light shout again. Multicolored light was released in 10,000 streaks, auspicious brilliance in thousands of strands. A human figure appeared, producing multicolored light and ascending, bringing with it unimaginable, heaven overflowing power. The result of these transformations left even Shahao shocked, simply a force that called upon the immortal Tao. Hazy immortal energy swirled about, incomparably terrifying, absolutely unstoppable. Shahao produced the Kuan Peng imprint in mid-air, continuously smashing downwards. An intense battle was carried out between the two, continuously fighting this great battle. Soon after, they rushed together like two streaks of lightning, tangling about each other. They slaughtered from the heavens above to the earth below, and then back to the stone furnace, the battle extremely intense. The chaos calming art is indeed frightening, worthy of being one of the most powerful sword arts since ancient times. I never expected her to have actually refined it. She didn't even use it when she was fighting against us in Immortal Battlefield last time, hiding it so well. Princess Yao Yu said. She might not have successfully cultivated it yet at that time, only making some breakthrough in recent days, and that is why she wanted to fight a great decisive battle here. Xian Kuan said. The chaos calming art really is something, seizing the natural luck of heaven and earth, a heavenly art formed from precious techniques. 10 Crown King said with a sigh. There was also a chaos calming art in the outside world, but it couldn't even be mentioned in the same breath as the Wang families. This was the ultimate profound mystery, an unmatched great method. Everything that was circulated outside was damaged. At the same time, everyone was watching Shahao. He actually knew the Kuan Peng method. Now, in the 9 heavens 10 earths, there were no more than 4 who knew this method. Could it be him? 10 Crown King's eyes flickered. Wasn't he captured by Yuan Qing, banished to Origin Ancient Mine, dying inside? Princess Yao Yu's eyes shone brightly, releasing extraordinary splendor. At this moment, many people thought of that youth from the lower realm. Their minds were all shaken. Did he actually not die? Everyone was waiting. Everything was going to be confirmed soon. Qing Yi found it difficult to calm down. Was it that person after all, not dying? This could be considered the return of a king, a reappearance in this world. In the battlefield, the two fought a great battle, this battle becoming more and more astonishing. Shahao formed fist imprints, blasting the 9 heavens, shaking up the 9 underworlds. At times, the great young spiritual essence roiled, and sometimes, the great yin's dark mists surged, making him look like both a god and a devil. Shahao couldn't help but sigh. The chaos-calming art was exceptional, too astonishing, its might immeasurable. He knew that his current Kunpeng technique had already been raised to its peak, just like what was recorded in ancient texts. When a type of divine ability was raised to its peak, transcending above, then it could stop heavenly arts, break through all tribulations. Right now, the two of them used precious techniques, but it was already equivalent to a clash between heavenly arts. Wang Shi released a cry. Chaos-calming art released unendingly, and then she displayed another type of ancient heavenly art. It rumbled about, its profound mysteries shaking past and present, endless murderous light surged, covering Shahao's area. 6 Tao reincarnations. Shahao shouted, his hands continuously forming imprints, activating the ancient heavenly art he grasped, immediately leaving everyone here stunned. Supreme Hall's unmatched heavenly art, it has appeared on his body. Someone cried out. Regardless of whether it was Wang Shi who was fighting, or the not too far off Princess Yao Yu, Xian Kuan, and others, they were all shocked, their expressions changing on the spot. Even Lu Tuo, who was fighting against Mo Dao in the distance, was greatly shaken up. After the heavenly arts clashed, everything became still. The two both withdrew. However, at this moment, golden willow branches appeared one after another, silent as they quickly extended, covering Wang Shi. They suddenly extended from the void, extremely abrupt. Wang Shi moved her sword core, wishing to cut them apart, but things didn't go as she had expected. The golden willow branches were too sturdy, some covering her body, immediately binding around her. "Break for me!" Wang Shi shouted. Her entire body burned, divine force erupting, wishing to break the branches. The darkness immortal gold sword core also moved in her hands, wishing to cut through all of the willow branches. "You can't break them," Shahao said. Symbols appeared on those branches one after another, wrapping tighter and tighter, binding Wang Shi in place, imprisoning her in the void. Everyone was stupefied. Wang Shi was captured. Were they hallucinating? The golden willow branches released metal colliding sounds. These willow leaves, these willow branches were actually like chains, having a metallic feel as they winded about Wang Shi's body, wrapping around her tightly. "Break!" Wang Shi released a light shout. All of her beautiful hair flew about, her tall and slender body struggling intensely. The darkness immortal gold sword in her hand brandished about, producing string after string of sparks. She wanted to break through the restrictions, cut apart these golden divine chains, but these willow branches instead became tighter and tighter, tough and unbreaking. Even though the darkness immortal gold sword was sharp, cutting through a few, the others quickly filled in the spaces. These golden willow branches had a type of powerful life force. Wang Shi was captured. Everyone cried out in alarm, and then they were stupefied, all of them not knowing what to say. This left everyone feeling shocked. That was but a long life family's young miss, a fairy who cultivated 3 strands of immortal energy, stunning and exceptional, fighting strength unmatched, yet today, she was captured like this. An expanse of Li flames surged. Wang Shi burst into flames, releasing light flames from every inch of her snow-white skin, burning willow branches one after another. Soon afterwards, she was submerged in fiery light. At this moment, Shahao had long turned into a streak of light, rushing over, quickly taking action to capture her. Wang Shi wasn't an ordinary person. Even though her flesh was temporarily bound, she could still move. She tore apart the void, moving out, wishing to escape from this place. Right now, her right arm was also wrapped around, the darkness immortal sword left her hand, cutting at the divine chains of order around her body under her primordial spirit's control, at the same time resisting the powerful enemy behind her. However, this still couldn't stop Shahao's steps. After all, she was restricted, her combat strength diminished. In the next moment, 10 figures appeared around Wang Shi's surroundings, all of them her spiritual bodies. They all rushed murderously at Shahao, these bodies including a vermilion bird, golden crow, 9-headed snake, and all types of powerful divine birds and vicious beasts. Of course, there were humanoid creatures as well, but they were all spiritual bodies that were nursed within heavenly passages. Right now, they worked together to attack Shahao. Wang Shi was forced to this extent, starting to use her spiritual bodies, truly having no other way. I never expected the female heavenly talent would be suppressed by someone who had previously followed her, about to become a captive. This really leaves one speechless. Everyone knew that these spiritual bodies couldn't change the situation, because the other party had spiritual bodies too. This meant that Wang Shi was already desperate. Everyone sighed. This was probably the first time this Heaven's Pride woman was ever captured, right? Shahao laughed. His body moved, but he didn't produce 10 heavenly passages like the others, but rather a hazy sphere of light. However, many creatures rushed out from within. Kuan Peng. A few people cried out in alarmed. Human-shaped lightning. A willow tree. Shouts of alarm sounded again and again, everyone's eyes widened. Even though they long had their speculations, seeing the youth display the Kuan Peng technique, and then even mysteriously activating the willow deity's precious technique, already guessing at his identity, this was now a type of confirmation. It was because as Shahao sent out his spiritual bodies, all of this combined with the precious techniques he excelled in, everything was exposed, revealing who he really was. The heavens collapsed and earth ruptured, ghosts wept and deities howled. Shahao's spiritual bodies moved out together to face the other party's 10 great spiritual bodies, fighting intensely, carrying out a great massacre. It was clear that the undisguised Shahao was powerful, incomparable, every single spiritual body grasping a world-shocking great divine ability. Now, they were all overlaid together, the power incomparable. This place erupted with chaos. He is Huang. He actually didn't die, arrived in our heavenly deity institution. Didn't Yuan Qing take action, sending him to Origin Ancient Mine? It was rumored that he already died in the mines, why is he appearing here again? Heavens, turns out he is Huang, that youth from the lower realm named Shahao. Finally obtained proof. Didn't I say before? How could a young supreme being appear mysteriously from nowhere? A loud commotion immediately sounded, these people excited and stirred up, watching the battle fervently. Wang Shi was about to be captured. Everyone sighed. This was an absolutely terrible thing for the Wang family. One had to understand that this was the clan's most stunning disciple, someone who cultivated 3 strands of immortal energy. Moreover, this youth had previously offended them, making them feel humiliation, putting them in an awkward situation. Meanwhile, previously, there were even more strange rumors around Wang Shi. Being captured by this young man, for Wang Shi, for the Long Life family, definitely wouldn't be anything good. The battle in the void was intense. A few figures were blasted flying. Wang Shi's 2 spiritual bodies suffered serious injuries. The conclusion everyone was expecting was about to happen. Suddenly, an unspeakable pressure immediately surrounded everyone's minds, including Shahao. He cried out not good inwardly, quickly withdrawing. A streak of exceptional sword radiance fired out from the space between Wang Shi's brows. It was too fast, releasing blinding radiance as it flickered about, directly hacking down towards Shahao. What is that? Did Wang Shi's primordial spirit leave her body? Heavens, how can this sword energy be this frightening? It is a bit more frightening than even the chaos calming art. How did she refine this? Many people cried out in alarm. Right now, Wang Shi's physical body didn't move, but between her brows was a divine rainbow that left her body, too fast, wishing to kill Shahao. Only a few people could see that this was Wang Shi's primordial spirit leaving the body, a small female infant that was the same as herself. It was the size of a fist, carrying a finger-length small black sword. Endless light erupted as she rushed at Shahao. This type of scene was extremely strange. It was because that small figure, despite being a primordial spirit, didn't flow with primordial spirit force, but rather sword energy. The sword energy was like a sword constellation, revolving around her body. How could primordial spirit force be turned into sword energy, turned into an unmatched sword constellation? Everyone cried out in horror, every one of them shivering inwardly. This isn't the chaos calming art, but it is even stronger. What kind of sword intent is this? Wrong, this is the chaos calming art, moreover refined to the most profound state, turning the primordial spirit into a sword core. Heavens! How did this girl refine it? This is too frightening. Did you all see the little black sword in her hands? It is like the darkness immortal gold, unstoppable. It is refined from primordial spirit. If the female infant disappears, the primordial spirit turns completely into a sword core. It would become unrivaled, reaching an unmatched realm. Everyone was shocked. Turning the primordial spirit into a sword core, this was something that rarely happened since ancient times. Especially at her age, it was completely unheard of. This really was unprecedented. Shahao's fine hairs stood on end. He felt a type of killing intent. When that primordial spirit rushed over, it was incredibly domineering, able to cut down gods and devils, unstoppable, too terrifying. If it wasn't for him evading quickly, he would have been directly pierced through. He really never saw a sword constellation like this, hacking down from the void, destroying all things. The most important thing was that she was too fast, difficult to evade. If not for him not holding anything back, using the Kuan-Peng method, immediately moving the divine wings to quickly evade, then just now, he would have his head removed by the primordial spirit sword core. This was too shocking. Xiahao began to move about, leaving behind after images one after another. A black after image moved past, fast to the point where it was difficult for even the heavenly eyes to capture. This was the chaos calming ART's primordial sword core, killing in a virtually undetectable manner, impossible to defend effectively against. Sparks flew in all directions, the noise ear-splitting. At the same time, Xiahao stopped, no longer evading. Finished, the chaos calming ART's sword core's speed is inconceivable. If he stops now, then there's no way to evade. Once one goes on the defensive, they will be killed. Someone said with a sigh. The chaos calming art is simply unfathomable. A few people agreed. They clashed again. Xiahao was now angry. He formed fist imprints, clashing with that primal chaos sword core, causing sparks to fly in all directions. What? What kind of fist imprint is he using? It can actually keep up with Wang Shi's speed, able to shake up chaos calming ART's primordial spirit core. Many people cried out in alarm. One had to understand that the primordial spirit core exceeded one's imaginations. Once it was activated, it could basically defeat all enemies at the same level. He merged the Kuan-Peng technique with many other profound mysteries, using the most direct type of combat instincts to fight, relying on his intuition to stop the chaos calming ART's primordial sword core. Everyone trembled inwardly, that type of speed was too fast. Now, they already couldn't see Wang Shi's primordial spirit sword core. Even if they activated their heavenly eyes, they could still only see some afterimages, unable to see their real bodies. The expressions Princess Yao Yu and the others had long changed. The current Wang Shi was undoubtedly frightening. Just how many people could match her current strength? Suddenly, Xiao's entire body shone, the supreme being blood inside of him activating, instantly displaying 3 types of precious techniques. Heaven Calamity Light, Reincarnation, as well as a third unknown divine ability that could support the 2 divine abilities were activated, making the first 2 more powerful made the divine force his body erupted with even more frightening. Right now, 3 types of precious technique symbols were moving about within the blood in his body, overlaying, making him erupt with the most dazzling light. In that instant, endless light appeared, rushing out from his body, submerging this earth. The overlaying precious techniques were everywhere, engulfing all directions. A cry of alarm sounded. That sword core was stopped, the small black sword the female infant carried growing dim, leaving her shocked. The primordial spirit sword was unstoppable, so how could it be damaged? Wang Shi was confused, starting to panic a bit. Xiahao was even more shocked. If it was an ordinary person, they would have long begun to age. How could they resist the power of reincarnation? This was especially the case after the 3rd type of precious technique was added, the power flourishing even greater, profound meaning becoming more complex. However, Wang Shi's primordial spirit didn't age, only the small black sword becoming damaged. Wang Shi didn't dare face this attack, quickly flying back to her physical body, not willing to take risks. It was because her primordial spirit hadn't fully merged with the sword core, not achieving the state of all methods immunity, sturdy and unbreaking degree. If she delayed any longer, she might suffer a disaster. Only after it underwent a great change, the female infant changing, her primordial spirit fully becoming a sword core, would she have reached an unmatched state. When that time came, she couldn't care less what type of method the other party used, she would just directly cut them down. A rain of light danced about, sweeping through this place. Heaven's light, reincarnation, and the 3rd technique activated together, the energy devouring mountains and rivers, slaughtering their way over to Wang Shi, sweeping through her primordial spirit, making it dim quite a bit. Dang! The female infant brandished the sword. The small black sword immediately cracked, and then began to break down under Xiao's 3 types of symbols, a piece breaking off. Her primordial spirit suffered damage, but it was because of this that she was able to struggle free, rushing towards her physical body. Just now, if not for being attacked by the sword core, Xiao would have tried to deal with the physical body a long time ago. Right now, he naturally didn't let it go. Kai. In the end, it was still Wang Shi's primordial spirit that was a step faster, returning to her body. Still lacking a bit of maturity, if the primordial spirit had completely turned into a sword core, that is the true unmatched state. At that time, it would be the opponent that would be running for their lives. Many people sighed. Wang Shi was in a difficult situation, making quite a few people feel regret. In the blink of an eye, Shahao arrived, grabbing Wang Shi's physical body. Kai. An expanse of sword light flew over. Wang Shi's physical body grew dim, blood spilling out from the corners of her lips, but in the end, she was still powerless to reverse the situation, captured by Shahao. On her body, the golden willow branches shone, sparkling and brilliant, locking her body down tightly. Even her dress was tightly pressed against her body, fully displaying her wonderful curves. Blood flowed out from the corners of Wang Shi's lips. When she activated the primordial spirit sword core to clash with Shahao's precious techniques, the injuries she received weren't light. Dao friend, you lost. Shahao lifted Wang Shi up. Right now, she was wrapped up by the golden willow branches like a zongzi one. Wang Shi was both humiliated and angry. Her current appearance was extremely indecent. Being carried in someone's hands like this, what kind of status did she have? She was a girl blessed by the heavens, Wang family's most brilliant pearl, yet right now, she was in such a sullen state. Calling her Dao friend was even more so a type of mockery. In the past, she invited Shahao into Heavenly Deity Institution as a Dao friend, having him follow at her side. However, later on, a series of events happened, causing Shahao and the Wang family to have a falling out. She wanted to size up just how strong this Dao friend of hers was. The result was that she was captured instead. Wang Shi was captured. Heavens! The most perfect fairy in my heart fell in that fella's hands. That is but a long-life family's daughter. Her status is extremely high, worthy of respect, yet she has been defeated here. This place became noisy, everyone on the stone furnace looking forward. For Wang Shi, this felt like the heavens collapsing. There were gratitudes and grudges to begin with, and then scandalous rumors. Now she ended up in his hands. The results were just too horrible to imagine. Even if he let her go, when this event traveled out, it would also produce a huge controversy. She cultivated a primordial sword core, originally believing that she could defeat all enemies, never expecting that she would still suffer such a great defeat, leaving her incredibly shocked. After a short period of clamoring, everyone began to feel shock over Shahao's true identity. It was to the extent where Shahao's reveal was comparable to Wang Shi being captured, making the commotion even greater. This is precisely Huang. Truly too young, only around 20 years old, yet already possesses such world-shaking skills, cultivating 3 strands of immortal energy. Even after someone asked Yuan Qing to take action, it still couldn't stop his footsteps. He still arrived in Heavenly Deity Institution. This youth is simply a heaven-warping immortal talent. Shahao stood on the stone furnace, the bones in his body releasing pie-pa sounds like beans being stir-fried. At the same time, his body became even taller, his appearance also changing, revealing his delicate and handsome face. This was the first time he revealed his true appearance in Heavenly Deity Institution. In that instant, many cries of alarm sounded. Qing Yi's clothes moved about, waving towards him. Yu Chan's expression was complex, her face immediately changing, saying to herself, "It is him after all. This is Huang. Turns out to be like this, so delicate and handsome. I thought he was some mighty and domineering buff guy. Is this not mighty enough? Do you see him carrying fairy Wang Shi in his hands?" Someone said quietly. When Wang Shi heard this, she immediately felt a wave of resentment. She was a young supreme being, yet she was captured by another. How could this be endured? At this time, Lu Tuo and Mo Dao already stopped fighting. Is there anyone else who wants to come and fight? Shahao said, looking at Lu Tuo, Yao Yu, 10 Crown King, and others. What is the point in fighting anymore? Huang, I am seriously inviting you to come to my family as a guest. We won't bother with expensive gifts, just give you this Wang family girl. Princess Yao Yu giggled. Everyone became speechless. Wang Shi became angry. Even though her movements were restricted, unable to struggle free from Shahao's grasp, she still couldn't hold herself back from scowling. At the same time, she felt humiliated. There was nothing worse than being put in this type of state in front of her adversary. The two had always been competing, and now, she was being carried by a male like this. Are there any benefits? Shahao asked, his expression completely serious. What do you want? Princess Yao Yu said with a smile, putting out quite the happy appearance. The suffering of her adversary made her feel great joy, the most joyous event. What can you give me? Ancient heavenly method, vicious 10 precious technique, or get the Wang family's chaos calming art? If you can, then I'll immediately give her to you. Shahao said. So generous. Let me think a bit, see if there is a way to get the chaos calming art out of her. I am quite interested in this method known as one of the 3 great sword arts since ancient times as well. Princess Yao Yu said. Everyone looked at each other in dismay. Were these two going to become human traffickers, discussing Wang Shi's value? It was a bit too much. Sure enough, this was the first time Wang Shi felt this angry. Her body trembled slightly, almost fainting on the spot. After the great battle, the atmosphere was originally extremely tense and serious, yet these two were now discussing how she was going to be sold, making others not know whether to laugh or cry. At this time, an elder's cough sounded. Heavenly Deity Institution's 4th elder came, moreover saying, all of you are academy students, so please do not go past exchanging pointers. You all must not humiliate each other. He then looked at Shahao and said, little friend, I have to ask you to please let go. Shahao felt helpless, long knowing that he couldn't kill anyone in Heavenly Deity Institution, nor could he truly bring away a captive. So he could only let go, giving Wang Shi back her freedom. All right, you've all fought long enough, please lower your respective disputes, return peace to this place. You all may search for precious pills on your own. 4th elder said. Shahao was quite decisive, placing Wang Shi on the ground. The golden willow branches around her immediately disappeared. Her freedom was returned, so she immediately leapt out, pulling open a set distance from Shahao. Let's go. Shahao brought Mo Dao with him into the stone furnace. Then, Lu Tuo, Wang Shi, and the others didn't dare fall behind, all of them moving out as well. As for the others, when they saw that the young supreme beings who cultivated 3 strands of immortal energy had all gone inside, only then did they dare rush in. Otherwise, they were scared that they might be stopped by others. The stone furnace was extremely large. When one went inside, it was as if they entered the belly of an archaic great peak. It was extremely spacious, the floor covered in layers of ashes. Immortal energy swelled upwards, rising up into the sky. Shahao and the other sighed in admiration. So many years had already passed, yet the medicinal characteristics were still there, releasing immortal Tao energy. Meanwhile, there were some places that still surged with auspicious light. This is something the Academy's elders purposely left behind. They sighed inwardly, clearly a natural luck that was gifted to them. A pool of divine liquid. Shahao was shocked. He found an area where divine light surged. After digging through the ashes, what was revealed was actually bits of divine liquid that hadn't dried up to this day. A sweet fragrance wafted outwards. There wasn't much liquid in the pool, but it was still extraordinary. Collect. Shahao said. He produced a 3-inch-sized small jade container, collecting all of the liquid. Divine pill. Someone cried out from the distance, feeling extremely shocked. There was someone who discovered a golden divine pill from the ashes, this pill definitely extraordinary. Everyone, give it your all. No one knows just how many divine medicines had been refined in this stone furnace in the ancient past, those ruins perhaps the only place it had stopped over for a long time. Shahao opened his heavenly eyes, focusing on the most bizarre areas. He saw a place where immortal energy was rising from, and then began to dig at the thick ashes again. What pills fragments are these from? Shahao had a vague feeling that something was off. He found a pill medicine fragment the size of a dragon fang, on it all types of patterns, truly mysterious looking. Shahao held it in his hands, his mind pounding greatly. Could this be a fragment of a 9 revolutions immortal pill? He had long heard that just a single mishap, when refining this type of immortal pill would result in everything exploding, only leaving behind pill medicine fragments. This video will end here.